A day after election results in 4 states were counted, the BJP has an astoundingly clear majority in 3 and the Congress has been completely routed, except for today's consolation victory in Mizoram. But all everyone is talking about is the spectacular performance of the Aam Aadmi Party, which has swept 28 seats in Delhi, way more than the exit polls had given them, and only a few seats short of their own exit poll, which put them at the hem of affairs in Delhi. As Delhi waits to see who will be their next Chief Minister, BJP's Harshvardhan or Aam Aadmi Party's Arvind Kejriwal, we look at the parallel campaigns of the two parties, both online and offline. In all the talk of dynastic politics of our two main parties, did we as a country forget the Aam Aadmi and his power, the power of a vote, the power of every individual to bring a change? And has the Aam Aadmi Party, a collection of these individuals, brought a wave of this change? That's what we discuss on the social network today. AAP wave caught unawares. You can tweet us live at our Twitter handle, TSN on NDTV. And before we introduce our panelists for the day, let's quickly listen into what Amitabh Kumar has sent us.
This election has shown a really new phenomena in Indian politics. It has shown how urban sentiments can be captured by social media. Aam Aadmi Party, BJP, and a little bit of Congress. What the young people were discussing on Twitter and Facebook did convert into votes. There were many old critics, many of them saying, oh no, these 140 characters are not going to change anything. But Aam Aadmi Party and to a limit BJP have also shown that what we were talking about on social media, it did convert into votes. These 28 seats have a lot to do with what we were thinking about as the young India.
All right, so social media, of course, is something that Amitabh believes seems to have had an impact on these elections. And we know, of course, that BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party were way ahead of the Congress in that. But let's quickly introduce our panelists for the day. We've got Ankit Lal, who heads the social media team of the Aam Aadmi Party. We've also got with us Manish Gulia, who's actually been working on the ground, doing, extensive door-to-door campaigning for the Aam Aadmi Party, which they say has, in fact, got them those 28 seats. We've also got with us BJP's Siddharth. And we've got with us Vidyut, who is an active online presence and also an Aam Aadmi supporter, and she's joining us all the way from Mumbai. So she hasn't quite voted in Delhi, but she's made it fairly clear that if she was in Delhi, she would have voted for the Aam Aadmi Party. Okay, Ankit, I want to start with you first. Amitabh was just talking about the fact that the urban youth has, the social media presence of the national parties, particularly the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party, is what we're seeing reflected in this change. And we've been talking about this for weeks now. Will the social media have an impact or not? How do you think the social media has had an impact on these elections, and how can you actually gauge that at all?
See, there were several aspects in which social media had impact on Delhi elections. Right from the voting percentage to liquor being caught, cash distribution being stalled. In every aspect of elections, right from the day we started, door-to-door campaign, online donations, everything was related to social media in some way or the other, and it had the effect eventually.
Okay, Siddharth, do you agree that social media has had such a huge impact on these elections, or do you think it's really just down to conventional democracy, to people saying, hey, we want to make a change, and if that means going out to the polling booth and voting, then that's what we're going to do?
I think both the ground realities and the social media have fed off each other. So whatever we actually did on the ground was reflected in the social media and vice versa. So if you see the social media, it actually set the agenda for the mainstream media, and through the mainstream media at times, I will not say completely, but at times, but whatever was then, whatever came in the mainstream media, that really percolated into the masses. So that is my understanding, how social media probably percolated even through to the people who are not actively on the social media. That's my assessment. So you think that one way or the other, directly or indirectly, you feel the social media has had a huge impact on these? Yes, absolutely. I will say that, it definitely set the mood for these elections. And in the run for the space on social media, do you think that the Aam Aadmi Party has perhaps trounced the BJP? Because even the day of the elections, all we saw was trends by the Aam Aadmi Party on at least on Twitter, for example. To an extent, they have been fairly successful on the social media. But if we ultimately look at the numbers, then also we'll have to say that the BJP has still emerged as the single largest party in Delhi. And what is funny is that the Aam Aadmi Party, with their own assessment, they were predicting that they will get 47 seats. And ultimately they have got 28 seats. They are still celebrating, okay? And on the other hand, you have the BJP, who is in a little introspective mood. Why have we got 32 seats. So that means the expectations, this shows what kind of expectations the BJP had and what kind of real expectations the Aam Aadmi Party had. Because on the one hand, they are celebrating 28 seats, and on the other hand, we are introspecting that, you know, we got only 32 seats. So that tells you a story as well. Definitely, they may have had an impact on the social media, maybe, but how much of that actually translated into votes?
Okay, but that needs to be looked at in the context of the fact that the BJP is a national party, and this is frankly a debut party, and it's a spectacular performance.
Sure.
So, in fact, I'm going to actually put that question out to Vidyut, who's joining us from Mumbai, and she's somebody who's very active online. You know, Vidyut, we're all sitting here in Delhi, and we're talking about the spectacular and completely unexpected wave of the Aam Aadmi Party, which seems to have swept Delhi. You're somebody who's looked at all national parties and all of their campaigning online. What do you think has worked about the Aam Aadmi Party's social media campaigning for you?
I think the most important thing the Aam Aadmi Party did was beginning with the realization that they don't have a base. So they were really building a base when they were working, and they began with a lot of positive trends, with a lot of information, with hope. There were very few critical trends, so that allowed a lot of neutral people to engage in. There was a lot of opinion asking, and there was a lot of personal attention given to people. I think that is what Aam Aadmi Party did differently from other parties, and that is what helped them.
Which of these three parties, Vidyut, however, was addressing real issues? You know, one of course is like making hashtags trend, one of course is retweeting and creating a huge amount of mobilization, one of course is trolling, but which of these three parties was actually addressing issues of people who interact online?
I think Aam Aadmi Party did a lot of that as well. All the parties do it to some extent. If you approach them with issues, you will have their people addressing those issues.
Yeah.
But I think Aam Aadmi Party went a step ahead, and they mobilized people, and they found out what people's problems were. And I think Aam Aadmi Party did a lot more of that than other parties.
Yes, I will actually disagree with Vidyut on this. I personally think that Aam Aadmi Party was engaged in a lot of negative campaign. Their whole agenda was like Congress, BJP, bhai bhai and things like that. They focused mainly on attacking the other parties. That's my personal perspective, okay? And they were successful in that, okay? I'll give them that credit. On the other hand, the BJP, I don't know how much of it was actually picked, but as far as the effort is concerned, I know this, they started something called 10 Din 10 Irade, in which a series of press conferences were conducted by the BJP, and then later on...
In fact, that's one of the criticisms that has come against the Aam Aadmi Party, that it's essentially about campaigning against the two parties rather than campaigning for your own party in many, many ways. But Manish, I want to ask you, you know, a lot of people are saying that that the social media space is hugely responsible कि लोगों को urban youth और दिल्ली जैसी शहर में जहाँ पर लोग apathy से जुड़े रहते हैं हर समय, या उनको वो criticism मिलता है, उनको social media booth तक लेके आया. क्या आपको ये लगता है कि आपने जो ज़मीनी तौर पे जो कैंपेनिंग किया था, उसमें क्या आपको लगता है genuinely लोग frustrate हो गए थे, वो एक change चाहते थे?
नहीं, ये तो रीज़न था ही कि जेन्युइनली वो दोनों पार्टियों से फ्रस्ट्रेट हो चुके थे. लास्ट 15 ईयर्स से वो कांग्रेस की जैसे मुख्यमंत्री शीला दीक्षित थी, उनसे फ्रस्ट्रेट थे, एंड लास्ट 7.5 ईयर्स से एमसीडी में जो करप्शन है, क्योंकि एमसीडी में बीजेपी है, इस तरह से दोनों से फेडअप होकर के पब्लिक को एक विकल्प चाहिए था, जो उन्हें दिखाई दिया आम आदमी पार्टी के उसमें. एंड जो हमारा ग्राउंड पे वर्क था, डोर टू डोर बार बार जाना, पहले एक नई पार्टी आम आदमी पार्टी बनी है, देन उसका सिंबल जो आया वो बाद में आया कि भाई इसका ब्रूम एक सिंबल है, फिर उनके कैंडिडेट्स के नाम, उनका फेस लोगों तक पहुंचाना. तो ग्राउंड पे जो हमने डे टू डे एक्टिविटी करी है, देन उनको फेसबुक वगैरह पे, सोशल मीडिया पे अपडेट करना, जो डेलीज एक्टिविटी करी है, क्योंकि जब हम ग्राउंड पे जाते हैं तो बहुत सारे लोग इस तरह के हैं जो उस टाइम हमें नहीं मिलते अपने घर पे. तो वो क्या है कि हमारे पिक्चर्स, वीडियोस या एक्टिविटीज को जब अपने ऑफिस में या अपने घर पे शाम को आके देखते हैं तो उन्हें पता चलता है कि कुछ लोग हमारे इतना अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं जो ग्राउंड पे नहीं होते, जिनको बेसिकली टाइम नहीं मिल पाता, बट वो फेसबुक पे, सोशल मीडिया पे हमारे साथ कनेक्ट रहते हैं.
Okay, and you know, just before I go back to Siddharth, I just want to say, you know, in the last many years, and we were just discussing this earlier, that I think the Aam Aadmi Party is one of the few parties that I remember coming to my colony in a sense and going door to door campaigning. But you could chalk that up to the new party enthusiasm. But let's quickly also listen in to what Mayank has sent us.
I think the social media has really impacted AAP with the way AAP's campaign have worked, because they mainly focus on social media, and the major way I came to know about AAP campaigns were through social media itself. And BJP and Congress kind of really failed on their social media presence because they couldn't achieve that much of coverage in their social media, and the mainstream media wasn't able to provide them with the good limelight they needed to be in. So it's basically social media has worked wonder for them, and the anti-Congress wave which was riding all across the country helped them to get even more seats. So I think social media is the future for today, and the BJP and Congress should give up their PR managers a run for their money in the future, because it really needs to improve.